UFC finally demoted Bo Nickal to the prelims at UFC 322, and honestly, it's kind of just about time because that hype train was derailed a long time ago. So yeah, look, Bo Nickal was booked for the main card at the MSG. Once again, fans lost their minds. Twitter just went nuclear. UFC quietly just moved him down as well. Kind of like your dad deleting his search history before giving you his phone.
What do you mean by that?
And the thing is, Bo literally asked me in the prelims after his last fight, saying that he had been arrogant, but the UFC was like, nah, you're on the main card, mate. I mean, they were just so desperate to make him a star that even when he tried to humble himself, they were like, nah, you're going on pay-per-view. And look, for those who don't know, Bo Nickal's a 3-time NCAA wrestling champion, an absolute freak on the mat. No, not that kind of freak, just relax. But yeah, I mean, he came into the UFC with insane hype back in 2022, put him on the main card at UFC 300. He won, but yeah, it wasn't the destruction that everyone expected. And then things just started getting weird. I mean, we had him at UFC 309 versus Paul Craig, grappler versus grappler. So on paper, you're like, it's going to just be like scramble heavy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun fight. Submission attempts. But no, it was pretty much just like a shittier version of Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis. Like, I mean, I was telling all my boys to go watch it because it's going to be just like full of like high level wrestling, high level grappling. Instead, it was just like two dudes who just like were standing there like they were waiting for like Wi-Fi to reconnect or some shit. I mean, we had Bo, one of the best wrestlers alive, decide that he didn't feel like wrestling and he wanted to strike, except he doesn't have hands. And then you have Paul Craig, pretty much just a heavy version of Michael Johnson because the dude can beat champions but then lose to absolute cans. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, what does Bo do against this guy? Pretty much just spars him. There was like no urgency, no fire, it was pretty much just point fighting at this point. Yeah, so he did win that, but I mean, it was a shit fight. And then you had him against Derrida, which is going to be a big step up. I mean, Derrida is like it's a real good competition. Everyone thought Bo was going to get it done, but no, Derrida literally folded this guy like a lawn chair, straight knee to the body in round 2. And yeah, Bo kind of went down like someone just unplugged him. First loss of his career, pretty brutal. And yeah, Bo actually kind of, gave some props and showed some humility after that loss, saying he'd been arrogant and then he needed to rebuild. And then yeah, so then he was announced on the main card at UFC 322 fight night. So yeah, not exactly like a small rebuild. And yeah, of course, fans went off, which makes sense because Bo, you shouldn't be having two unranked dudes fighting on this. Like Bo just ain't that. He ain't that guy. I mean, we even have like Bo tweeting, maybe I've got hundreds of thousands of wrestling fans, or maybe it's just like rage bait. I mean, he even knew that it itself was weird. Meanwhile, we had Dariush and Saint Denis, who was going to be on the freaking prelims. Like, that is just a terrible trade-off. But luckily, it's being moved. But the thing was, the UFC quietly updated the card. There was like no big announcement saying like, they've been moved. It was just a real silent swap. And honestly good, because it's the first sensible decision that they've ever made for Bo, pretty much in the whole UFC timeline. I mean, he's what, 7-1 with like a knockout loss. And then his last 2 fights have just been trash. I mean, it doesn't really scream like MSG main card. It just kind of screams like, you got to go on the prelims, bro. You've got to like grind and work your way back up. And the thing is, I don't even hate Bo Nickal. I think he's like a good fighter. Well, he's a good wrestler. I don't think he's a great fighter, but he's definitely a good wrestler. I respect that. I mean, he even took like accountability after the Derrida loss. But the thing is, the UFC pushed him too hard. Finally, he's where he should be at on the prelims, where he can actually work his way back up. I'm just praying that the UFC is going to continue listening to fans and next, get rid of Power Slap.